Hello, I want to welcome you here. Thank you for purchasing the, what is this? The August tutorial bundle. So we are a group of Stampin' Up demonstrators from around the world, and I'm happy to present my, my inclusion, is that the word? For what I'm creating for this bundle, and it is a sweet little tote. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get this camera down and let's get creating. I will show you how I did this. So again, here's the tote. For this one, I use, let me just leave that there. I used the Splendid Day DSP to create this, and this is mint macaron is the color that I used for this. Splendid Day number is 159666. But oh, and these sweet gems are the 2021-2023 in color opal rounds, and I used the nice deep green. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use for, oh, maybe I do know which one for my next, for my project. Okay, so here we go. Here is what you need. I forgot to bring my cheat sheet forward. Excuse me. Just when you think you're ready and you realize you're not. Your card stock is going to be 12 by 6 on one sheet and 6 by 7 on the other. Those are going to go together like so to create the huge band which creates our tote bag. You're going to need a piece of cardstock. This is going to be the base of your tote bag, and this measures 8 by 5. We're going to score it at 1 inch all around. You're going to need 2 pieces of 11 by 1 inch. This is going to be for your handle. You are going to need 2 pieces of 11 by 3/4 of an inch. This is for the trim. And you're also going to need 2 pieces of 8.5 by 3/4 of an inch. This is also for your trim. You're going to need a corner rounder. So whatever corner rounder you have, you can use. You're going to want Tombow. You're going to want your bone folder, or you can use tear and tape, whichever you prefer. Okay? So here we go. Let's get started. You're going to grab your scoreboard, or you can also use your Stampin' trimmer. And we're going to score at 1 inch all around. So let's just go ahead and do that. Try to get out of the glare here so that I know where I am. 1 inch all around. There's that. And now with your handles, okay, so this is the 11 by 1 inch. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, but we also don't want to score the beginning part of it. We want to start scoring at about 1.5, and we want to stop at 9.5, okay? So we're going to find our 1/2 inch mark, which is right there. And let's go down to 9.5. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're starting at 1.5, and we're going to score down. Whoops, where is it? I have lost my 1/2 inch line here. There we go. Nope. Yikes, of course, you know, when you do your video, let's try from down here. 9.5, there it is, up to, come on baby, up to 1.5. I was just a smidge off there. Okay, so there we go. 1.5, stopping at 9.5. Our scoring is all done. Let's take care of our handle first so that it can be set aside to dry. I want to corner round both of these corners like so. So maybe you have a little handheld corner rounder. How come I can't say that word? Corner rounder. And the last one. There we go. So now all of our corners are rounded. And we want to avoid this part, okay? We want to keep that nice and clean. Look at that. My bad. Just to the score line. 1.5 at one end and 9.5 at the other. Now I'm going to use Tombow, and I do like to use my silicone mat, and I don't want to go too close to the edge, and I don't want too much, and I don't want to go too close to the end of my score line either. Okay, so let's give that a little massage down. I'm going to have to hold it for a moment. I'm thinking tear and tape might have been better, but you know what? I like the wiggle room that I get with Tombow, and if your glue happens to ooze out when you're using Tombow, it's because you're using too much. Let's just hold that down. You could use a paper clip too. I'm just going to set that aside. You can see how I went in there a little too far. Where's my take your pick tool? I want to just there it is. I want to take that out. So I'm just going to dig in there and take out that excess. There we go. And a little bit on this side too. So you really don't want to go close to the end of your score line. Okay? Take those off. And then you want to take your bone folder and you want to give that a nice rounded burnish. All you're doing is you're breaking up the fibers, and this way our handle will be nicely rounded, and then I can manipulate that to make it a little bit smaller when I put it down on my tote. Let's do the same thing here, but let's try not to put too much glue. So there's my score line right there, and I am going to do my glue right to there. That might be a lot. Please do not ooze out on me. I'm on my silicone mat. I have a feeling that on the left side here, I've got too much once again, but we'll just take that out. Just holding my ends down. And let's give that a burnish. And then I'll just clean the excess out once again. because I don't want that there. My fingers are getting sticky. I'm usually not this sloppy with my Tombow. I'm not sure what the deal is with today, because I do tend, Tombow is my go-to, and there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you are comfortable with. My fingers are extremely sticky. Let's give those a wipe. Give my fingers a wipe. Get some of this adhesive off. Wow. Usually not that sloppy. Okay, now you're going to grab your snips, which is another thing that you need, and we're just going to cut from the edge to that first score line, okay? Make sure that I'm in camera here. And just going up on both edges, and then this here, let's give that a burnish. And you can burnish first before you start cutting. It really doesn't matter, but for the next step, I find it easier if my score lines are nice and crisp. Okay? So these little pieces here, let's call these the legs. I want to miter my corner. So I'm just going from this edge and I'm going up to the corner like so. So that is mitered, okay? And we're going to do the same to all of these little legs. So a little off and then up to my score line, up to my score line at a bit of a diagonal. There's my other mitered corner. See how that they're mitered now? Now the reason why I do that is when I do fold it over onto itself to create the box, I don't have any bulk. I want to avoid this. I just want to do the legs. And you'll see why in a minute. Okay, I still have glue on my hands. So let's get our silicone mat once again, and we're going to put Tombow on here like so, and I want this edge here to line up with that edge there. So we're nice and crisp, nice and straight. Give your Tombow a second. I'm going to fold that over. Same thing, just a little bit of Tombow. This edge here lining up straight with that edge, like so. Hold it for a smidge. You always want to put your adhesive on the smaller piece. So lining up my edges. Tuck that one in. Lining up my edges like so. So there's the base of our tote, which is now complete. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your 12 by 6. Now if you don't want your tote as high, you can go 12 by 4.5. You can do whatever you want. I want a nice clean area on the front. So I don't want a seam, but I don't want this edge to be right on the corner. So I'm going to pull that in just a smidge like so. Okay, so then this is going to wrap around like so. So let's put a little bit of adhesive there. And if you are using DSP that is directional, you want to make sure that you're going the right way. So we're going to put that down on there, and I'm lining up the bottom of the DSP with the bottom of my tote. Okay? And here's where I like my wiggle room. Now here's my corner. I'm going to give that a little press. Okay? That's important. Now this is actually not my, I got this idea from Leanne Greff. Give that a little bit of a massage. I'm nice and straight. You for sure want to be straight. And then that's going to go down right there. So let's get some adhesive on here. Making sure that I'm nice and even with the base. I'm going to let that, just going to hold that for just a smidge. And then I'm going to flip it over and give that a massage. I'm going to pinch my corner and, ooh, that is really, really close to there. Not liking that a whole lot. Not liking that a whole lot. So I should have been a little further in. Okay, so here I'm probably about, where am I? I'm about 1.5 inches. I should have gone about 1 inch because this here, this overlap is really, really small. But we're going to go with it. Okay, let's get some adhesive down here. And let's make sure that we are flush to the bottom of our tote. I've got my pinch happening here. I'm going to overlap that. Give that a little massage. I need to remember to take a peek to make sure that I'm in. So see how I've got my nice pinched corners and I've got a nice rounded effect happening. Now this is going to go down over here like so, and you know what? I see that I cut it incorrectly. I don't think I'm 7 inches. I am. It should be 6 by 8, I'm thinking. It should be 6 by 8. So let's get a new sheet, unless I just know I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to take our 6x8, and that's going to wrap around very nicely. I want to put some tear and tape along that edge so I can adhere it to the other DSP. I also want to make sure that I am in camera. So I like to just put it down like so, give it a massage, grab my little ruler, and just pull straight across. That's how I like to do my DS or my tear and tape. And now I'm going to start that. You know what? I want to start it at the bottom. So I like to, this is how I like to do my DSP. I like to pull a little piece off, like so. Line it up at the bottom. And then if I lay this down and find that little ear, I should have had it coming out the opposite way. So you want to go in towards your design paper. And now I've got this little ear, and then I just gently pull and walk that around. Okay, now this is going to come across this way. There's my pinch. We're going to have, I keep falling off the camera here, or out of focus here, and there is my other pinch is going to be right about here. So this is going to come together here. So I'm going to put a row of tear and tape on that. Right along the edge, straight up to where I want to go. Press it down, grab your ruler, and just pull. Now when this comes across this way, I want my tear and tape, my little piece sticking out that way so I have something to grab. Okay, so let's get some adhesive down here. So be sure when you're putting on your first piece of design paper that you're only about an inch away from the edge. Okay, there's my pinch right here. Let's place that down. Give that a massage. It's coming together. And again, if you're using directional paper, you want to make sure that when you put your second sheet down that you're going the same way. Here's my pinch right here. That's going to come off, but we need a little bit of adhesive there first. But we still want to give that a head start. And with this one, I want this little leg sticking out, okay, so that I've got something to grab. Let's put a little bit of adhesive down right here. That looked like a little bit a lot. Let's line that up with the bottom of the base. Give that a massage. Okay, flip it over so it's not going anywhere. And now I want to make sure that I'm lined up nicely, like so. And then I just pull and massage. pull and massage, keeping this edge nice and square, like so. Okay, now that is complete. Now what I want to do is not make the same mistake. So I want to find what I am going to deem as the front, and this is going to be the front, okay, like so. Now you can use tear and tape or your liquid glue, whatever you prefer at this point. And I'm just going to stick with my liquid glue just because I have that wiggle room. And I don't think I'm in camera. Oh, no, I am. As I look down. Now I want to make sure that I've got paper clips or these little clippy things, whatever they're called. And let's line that up with the top of the tote bag, okay? Let's hold that down here while I walk, and I don't want my DSP showing. Hold that down at that corner, and now I can lay it down. You can also use paper clips if you don't have any of these clips. I love these clips, so I always have tons of them. You can get them at a big box store. Stampin' Up used to sell them. I purchased a whole whack of them when they were on the clearance rack. Okay, so that's holding nicely. Then what you would do, you know what, let me move to this portion here. Then what you would do is you would put your handle down, okay? And I'm just kind of eyeballing, and I'm going to use liquid glue again for that. Now, when you're doing your handle, if you know that you want to use brads, you can adhere these down, then make your holes and put your brads through, and the wings are going to be open on the inside of your tote bag. But then when we take the shorter piece of trim, it's going to hide the back of it, okay? But I'm not using brads. I'm just going to use gems instead. But if you want to use brads, this is where you would put your handle down now. So this was the 11 inch, is that what it was? 11-inch trim. And now I'm going to grab the shorter trim, and I want to make sure that I cut that the right size. And I did not. So the trim should be 11 by 8.5. Okay, so now you're going to take your shorter piece of trim, which is about 8.5 inches. You could go a little bit longer if you want, but you'll have a little bit more bulk, okay? So this is going to overhang just a smidge. Let's put some adhesive down, on that. And we're going to use our little clips once again to help hold it down, okay? It's so funny, when I do my lives, I seem to get through without bumbling, and when I do my videos for my bundle tutorial, I seem to bumble. Go figure. So I'm overhanging just a smidge, like seriously, just a smidge. And if you're nervous about it being too short, just cut it a little bit longer, because it just makes it. So I've got my two ends clamped down, and now let's give that a little massage. Okay. Now, depending when you put your tote together with your DSP, if your DSP tends to be bowed out a little bit, you want to make sure before you adhere down that your trim is going to fit all the way around. Okay, so you've got 11. The trim is 11 by 3/4 of an inch and 8.5 by 3/4 of an inch. If you're nervous, just do it a little bit wider, okay? Or a little bit longer. I just stuck my hand right in it. Come on, baby, work with me. There we go. Okay, now I'm just walking it around. Let's hold that down. Let's take that one off. And I'm just making sure that I'm nice and flush with the top. Okay, don't want my DSP showing through. Looks good. Give it a massage. See how that's coming together? So just remember, if you're using brads, you want to put your brad in before the inside of your trim. Okay? Let's remove that one. I'm just coming over the last one just a smidge. Come on. There we go. Let's hold that down on that end while I walk it through the other end. Okay, like so. Now our handles are nice and dry because they've been sitting there waiting for us. Okay, so you do want to do your handles first. Now, I never pulled out any gems for my buttons. What do I want to use? That's not going to work. Let's see, what do we have? Ooh, that might be neat. Let's do the adhesive back hexagons, okay? But first, and I've got a large paper clip to help me with this, I want a little bit of glue on there, like so, and I am going to, from the middle, I'm going to go, or from this edge, I just want to go up probably about an inch, and I want to make sure that it is straight. Okay, so while that is sitting there, let's put a little bit of adhesive. Kind of working weird here. Ah, that moved on me. And I want to go about there. So I'm eyeballing here and coming in, hopefully, the same as what I did on the other one. Now we're just going to hold that down for a minute. My paper clip's not really working, so scratch that. Just needs a little bit of time to set. I think I'll like those on there. Let's see. I never checked first before I started. Oh yeah, I think that'll look really sweet. I love it. And so you're going to need 4 brads or 4 gems. Move that over just a bit, like so. And so you just have this kind of button effect happening. See how gorgeous that is? Let's flip that over, and we're going to do the same on this side. So I think it's easier if you put a little bit of adhesive on both ends of your handle. So again, I'm eyeballing this corner and I'm coming in about an inch. Hold that down for a moment. Eyeballing this corner and coming in about an inch there as well. Hold that down, making sure that your handles are straight-ish. Whoops. Pressing it at the same time. This one really wants to twist on me. There we go. Now that's nicely adhered. Let's put our buttons on. And now I did not embellish this further, but you can. Well, see how that wants to twist? I think this needed to be burnished a little bit more, is why it keeps doing that. But now the adhesive is set. Ooh, I do not have another large one. Let's take this one off and put it here. So now I've got a large and a medium. And a large and a medium. So yeah, you can hang a tag down here, or you can embellish the front of it. I don't think I have anything in front of me that would work. This is just a little piece of old DSP. Kind of gives you an idea how you can decorate this further. I just wanted to show you how to create the tote without embellishing it. You can hang a tag here, and so there it is. There's the tote. So it does sit 6 inches high, and again, if you want, you can make them shorter, and they fit cards beautifully, or you can put some embellishments in there, and you've got a gorgeous gift ready to give someone. So there are your fancy little sweet totes. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call. I'd be very happy to help you with that. We will talk to you later. Bye, and thank you once again. Enjoy your day.